Good afternoon, everyone. As it was stated, I'm Bishop Tanya Rawls, and I'm here today with my fellow citizens of Charlotte, Mecklenburg, North Carolina, and South Carolina, and others to affirm what many people in our state recognize and support, and that is the sacred worth and equality of lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people. Because of that, we stand in solid opposition of a constitutional amendment that would prohibit all forms of legal relationship recognition for gay and lesbian couples. The center of a city that was committed in its beginnings to welcome all and to fight for fierce independence. I reflected when preparing my comments today on the first time I saw this square with my wonderful wife, Gwendolyn. It was my first day in Charlotte, and my first stop was at the Chamber of Commerce right down the street, and my second stop was here at this square. And I looked up at this square and I saw myself. I saw myself when I saw the two women represented and saw them standing bold and proud. I saw myself when I saw the African American who was there as a representative of those who laid railroads and those who also built the transportation for our community. And then I saw myself also when I saw the individual holding the pan with the gold. Someone who was standing there showing that all things were possible in this city that had not yet fully become. What I was excited about after having lived in New Jersey and lived in Los Angeles and lived in Washington, D.C., these cities that were so much more formed, I was excited about being a part of a city that was still becoming, that was framing itself and shaping and framing itself in new ways, and was excited about being a part of that possibility. What is possible, particularly as we think about ourselves here in the South? Well, the truth is all things are possible. But we stand on the shoulders here today of textile workers and of gold miners and of railroad workers and ancestors who laid a foundation upon which we now stand here and build. I have colleagues who wonder, why would I stand, and particularly so publicly, on such a controversial issue? Why not just kind of quietly support gay, lesbian, bi, trans, and gender variant people? Why not just go on and quietly preach affirming messages? Why stand here on this square and state these things in terms of my support for all of God's gay, lesbian, bi, and trans children and my opposition to this amendment? Well, I stand because it is now my turn to fight, as it is all of our time to fight. We must fight not just against homophobia and transphobia that a small yet powerful minority may seek to write into our Constitution, but for this entire state and the country in which I know many of us do love. Regardless of race, gender expression, sexual orientation, land of native birth, or political affiliation, our state has promised her citizens that we will treat every man, woman, boy, and girl justly. We must offer to each access to the basic protections and opportunities needed to build a prosperous life for them and their descendants. One of these most basic rights is the right to have covenant relationships protected. The framers of the state and federal constitution got it right, that they stand today against this effort being offered up to legislate discrimination and bias. They wrote it broadly so that all of us could live freely. We must awaken, O sleeping giants, and realize that this issue is one that is worthy of our sacrifices and our efforts. Let us join our collective voice. Let your elected officials in the House and Senate stand up with those of us who are saying no and gathered here today in opposition to this Constitution. Let them know what you feel and what you think. Let them hear about your families and your children and the very things that are important to you. We ask you again as earlier, not just to stand, you elected officials, with the bi, lesbian, gay, transgender, and gender variant tax-paying citizens in your district, but for the children who will lose health care benefits because their parents' domestic partner benefits will go away, and for the family that will be denied hospital visitations because they will not be considered next of kin. We must not allow the clock to be turned backward, nor political strategists to turn black against white, white against brown, gay against straight, conservative against moderates, nor Democrat against Republican. We will stand as citizens of the state of North Carolina. We must together press toward the mark of the high prize. North Carolina should be a state that is truly welcoming and supportive of all of her citizens. A state that is big enough for our varied beliefs and practices, yet honoring the fact that none of us has the right to impose those beliefs on another, particularly not through amendments to our state constitution. As a proud citizen of this state, a parent, a lesbian, and a wonderful 12-year relationship with my beloved Gwendolyn. Come on over here, honey. Amen. We both believe in God, and we believe in the sanctity of marriage, and we believe in covenant relationship, which was why it was important for us to get married in 2002, and why we traveled in 2008 to Los Angeles, where it was a place that we could be legally recognized as a couple.